All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time. It is time to get things going. Let's have a look here. The sainte-mere-du-mont tactical map. This is what we're dealing with tonight. We have a great round ahead of us. Points tonight. It's on. It's points. It's good. I love it. After last night's matches on this particular map, Jesus, it's going to be a big night. And I'm going to introduce the lads right away in the casting channel. First of all, my faithful friend here, Gobertron. Welcome, mate.
Thanks for having me back.
No, it's always good to have you here, buddy. And we had a bit of hell let loosing ourselves last night. It was a bit brutal, but we got through it. I think tonight's matches are going to be pretty brutal. What do you think, man?
It's probably going to be one of the best rounds of the week, I reckon, this one coming up.
Yeah, that's affirmative there. And there we go. I'll put my webcam on there so everybody can see me. I don't know if that's a positive or a negative, but here we are. Joining us also tonight is Jagdpanzer. Welcome, mate.
Thanks, man. It's good to be here again.
Let me just say, like MVP tanker of the series last night, mate. You guys in that tank, we lost. We couldn't work out how many you'd killed. There were so many fucking dead tanks. I think you were running a 76 for 30 odd minutes before you finally died, mate. Well done.
Thanks. We had some fun. It was good considering, like myself and the other guys, we hadn't tanked before, so did pretty well considering.
Just going to do a quick camera check here. Yep, Dead Man's camera is good to go. He just was PMing me. So, look, for Jagdpanzer and Gobertron, I'm going to call Jagdpanzer Riley because that's his name, and Aaron.
Fine.
So there you go. So for these guys, we have their cameras tonight, and they're going to be running around the map for us as well. So there's Gobertron's on the top right, and there's Jagdpanzer or Riley's on the top left. Riley's watching the tank right now, and Gobertron's looking at the setup screen that you can see there, and this is just put a whole new perspective to it. Now, lurking in the background, I'm going to put him on the spot here because he reckons he wasn't going to say anything, but it's Red Dragon, and we're going to see his
Good evening.
All right, so thanks for joining us, and Red won't be chatting to us really through the stream, but he will be pulling up his camera. Let's just see what you've got there on your screen, Red. You've got the other side of the tank, so there you go. Oh, no, sorry, that was Riley still. So you're looking now at, what is that? There's a lot of dead people, probably. A little bit of blueberries running around. Well, that's normal, isn't it? All right, so we've got that lovely stuff happening there. We've got the ability to jump between different cameras, but here's some other stuff that's going on. There is one of the players, Deadman from the OC team, who, if we recall last night, had an absolute whopper of a finish there, just behind what you did, Gobes, with you took down some Garys and stuff, and then unfortunately died. But then Deadman came in and cleaned up half a dozen people with his crew behind him, and you guys ended up winning.
Yeah, taking out those Garys, sneaking behind the enemy. We set down the game plan, and we knew there was like a couple of minutes left, so we spoke to each other and said, yeah, let's push the point from the top of the map, and that's what we did. We came back with a win.
Right, well, there you go. Now, the other person we've got up the top right there, and his screen's a little bit short there. I might just adjust that as we talk. That is Magical Arab, who is on the public team. So these guys, and I probably need to just mute some things here because we haven't quite set it all up, but the point I'm making here is that we have one person from each of the teams that's able to give us their point of view as they play. So we've got all sorts of options here to watch what happens. I mean, Jagdpanzer, we missed you tanking last night, mate. But what a difference this is making to these streams, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good, man. I think it's really generated a big vibe too that the guys are getting involved with. So
yeah, awesome.
It's really good.
And I love it. I really do. I think this is just excellent. An excellent outcome for someone who's, I mean, we're only collecting a few weeks ago to start this little journey that we're on right now, and it's going pretty well, I reckon. Anyway, let's get things happening here. I'm just going to rip off some background stuff here and get us back into the main screen display. So let's see if I can do this. There we go. Full screen. Nah, of course, that's not linked in properly. I need to fix that. The links for all of these guys come through at the last minute, pretty much in the last 20 or 30 minutes. So I do have to just quickly make some adjustments each time because we get different players. So there's my screen that you can see in the background now. I'll have that running in the aerial view that I always do, and people are shooting, of course. So we'll have that running all night. we'll have different opportunities to jump to different screens. Now we have Gobatron and Jagdpanzer are going to be tending to follow tanks tonight, and Red lurking in the background. He's going to try and get some of that squad play that we all love to watch. It sounds like the map's changing. No, that's just the start. Sorry, never mind. So we're not on the right map yet. We're not on the start point yet. We've just got a couple of minutes left as they do their setup. Gobes, what are you expecting out of these two teams tonight? So it's OC versus the public team. We know OC have dominated fairly hard through the comp, but the public team have really ramped up, and they did give OC a scare, one scratch match a few weeks ago now. What are you thinking here, mate?
I think it'll be on for young and old. I think that they're pushing the heavy flanks around the outside and holding the barrage. I think the barrages are going to be deadly for the tanks. I don't think the tanks will get on the point. They'll have to probably sit back and snipe from long distances.
And we did see that a little bit last night, where tanks were all over the place. But all the matches last night were fought on the dugout. Riley, was that something that you were looking forward to as a dugout fight, or would you prefer to be tanking on somewhere else on the map?
As a tanker, I'd much prefer to probably be in the middle or the right-hand side, just so you get a bit more space out there. And space is good because infantry can't get so close.
Right, there you go. That hill made all the difference. There was some wonderful work we did with the cameras when we were down behind you, and there was a tiger up on the hill, and just towards the end of the battle, I guess. That was an amazing play there. That tiger kind of had no idea, even though you were marked, he couldn't find you, and that's brilliant stuff. I love it. What are we thinking about Pierre's farm for tanking, mate? That's pretty open out there.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. It's a lot of good sight lines, which is also a bad thing if the enemy want to use AT guns, which we know OC love their AT guns. So could be really interesting.
That's. I think there are going to be some fire support bases. I said that in the pre-match review during the week, that you could get a couple of good long-range fire support bases up, sort of to the north, northeast, northwest, and west. And pull fire onto the point quite easily over a couple of 100 metres. And I think an anti-tank gun or two, or a tank or two, and a machine gun or two will really put hell on the defenders on that point. I think all three are going to have struggle tonight to hold the points. I think you're going to find that the point's going to switch hands. I mean, that first match last night, Gobes, if you remember it, how many times did the point change hands?
It would have been 3 or 4, I think.
We were up to about 6, man.
Where? Oh, amount of times
it felt like it constantly did.
Yeah.
It was about every 5 to 10 minutes. It literally was changing either in a 5-minute or 10-minute window. Fascinating stuff. We're doing some setup now, as you can see. I'm just going to get that map out of here. So we know the 3 points there. Just quickly, I'll talk about them. We know the 3 points there that you can see, the dugout, AA, and Pierre's farm. Most of the team during the week talked about AA battery being their favourite to fight over. The Wheatfields play a big point on the right and the middle cap. Left cap we saw last night in spades. So if the teams get that tonight and they didn't watch last night's battles, then, shucks to them, because they're probably not learning. I think AA battery is going to be the hardest fight if we see that tonight for anyone to hold the point. And I think Pierre's farm is going to be the hardest when it comes to trying to get across the fields towards it, unless you've got good fire support. Now, Riley, I'm going to throw to you here, because you played that scratch match you had with the Chinese teams a couple of weeks ago. And one thing I made a repetitive point on was the fact that they had excellent fire support bases, so their combined arms work was brilliant. For Pierre's farm or for AA battery, what are some of the thoughts that you have when you're in the tank and working with the infantry? How does that work for you? How do you go about that? How does the comms work? What do you expect from your infantry and your team when you're driving around in a tank?
Well, one thing I try and do is, especially if you've got randoms, is you try and encourage people to follow you around to get kills. Most random players just want to get kills, and AT players are the same, and they'll just chase tanks blindly. So if you've got a few infantry following you, they basically get a free meal. They just come straight to them. So, and then otherwise, it's just put the marks down, accurate marking of enemy tanks, which is what in the scratch match really helped last night. It just knows what you're dealing with, and then you can choose whether you're going to, break through tank at the front line or whether you're going to hold back a little bit, pick that heavy off, and then roll in. So.
Absolutely. We're still waiting here. They're doing a double roll of the map, so I might just do our little flyover reel. I'm just going to turn some stuff up here in the background and get the flyover reel rolling. So this is just aerial camera view of the sainte-mere-du-mont and what the terrain's like, and then you can see in the imagery that I've got here that it is quite open terrain. And the stream's just gone live, guys, so we've actually been here for quite a while waiting for this game to start. So folks are now getting all excited about nothing for 15 minutes. Us, a couple of old men talking, that's what it is at the moment, and some pretty footage. But it looks like we're not far off now. I can sort of see that the teams are filling up here. Well, I guess we should probably talk about the teams tonight a little bit here. So I'll bring up my screen there. So OC are on the left, and the little icons will be up the top of the map there, as you can see. OC's little clan icon and the Big D public team clan icon. So that will indicate to you which sides you're viewing on the main screen from me. So that's how that works. And I'll let you know when we jump to someone else's. But if we get, and the map's just rolled, unfortunately, so I've just lost all of that lovely information. Here we are now. So right now on the OC team, I think it would be Tattoo that is the clan commander for tonight. That's what I saw just before. And he's a tactician. He spends a lot of time working on tactics for maps. He spends quite a bit of time covering all sorts of stuff. The squad leads, you're going to see the usuals, I guess, the Just Fierces and stuff like that. All very familiar names here. We've seen a few times. Old Bars in there as well. There's no Noppers on this team tonight, guys. What happened? What?
We didn't. We'll do it next time, mate.
We need more Noppers. It made a difference to us.
It clearly did, yeah.
God, that cracked me up. All right, let's talk about the public team now. Riley, I'm going to get you to have a chat a bit about the public team. So tell me about some of the names on there, some of the people you know.
Oh, yeah, well, it's obviously Arab's been around for a while, Magic Galera. So it's good to see a clan and a group actually sort of bought out of, they call themselves the Misfits. But, yeah, obviously in Soups has been around in the Big D community for some time, and Attila the Fun, I reckon he was one of the guys that showed me how to play 2 years ago, and here we are nearly 3,000 hours later, and he's still playing. So
he's still teaching.
Yeah, and he's a great bloke. So, but no, it's good. There's a lot of names here that have, they're both new players and a lot of veteran players. So I think they're a bit of a wild card, the public team.
Yeah, I agree, mate, and we've seen them come up pretty vividly through the competition. Someone just asked me about do I cover any non-Big D events? Absolutely. I'm not aligned with anyone specifically. I represent Big D as a media officer for the purposes of streaming stuff for them, and so that they can have their content appropriately branded and everything, and I'm fully supportive of that stuff. But I do casting for anybody. Winchy, thank you for the sub for another month, mate. I appreciate that. I really do. He's a good egg, Winchy. He's helped me a fair bit along the way. Well, I've only been casting. Gobes, how long have you been casting for now? 8 weeks? Yeah,
about eight, maybe 9 weeks when you first started.
Well, it was a week before the Premier League started, wasn't it? And I sort of went, shit, okay, how do I do this? I'm happy to support any clans for anything. Bog's asking me questions about that now. I'll have to try and type that in a second to him. So I think something's going on here. It is a map roll now. They're rolling the map. Yeah, it sounds like they're trying to roll the map. Yeah, so there'll be another 30-second rollover here, and they'll try and get across to get across to the map, so it won't be too far off. Gobes, if you're chatting to him in there, just to let him know that I do other clan stuff as well. It's not just Big D, of course. Chimera have actually asked me. Well, I've talked to Keltith about it, about doing their Friday night stuff if they're interested. But I just didn't have time last night. But that's what we do, support whoever can. All right, we'll come back to that later. That sounds like a conversation for later, because here we are, folks, ladies and gentlemen, sainte-mere-du-mont. It's time to go. And it's Pierre's farm. Or Riley, you might get your wish here to see Tankin. This will be good. Oh, this will be good. That's a great understatement, mate. This is going to be an amazing match. I can see it. I'll just have to turn off the in-game voice. Make sure you lads do that as well, unless you want to listen to them, of course, because it comes across in the stream. So we'll just set up now, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be really interesting. We just turn a few things off here. Toggle clip off. There we go. And up we go. So Pierre's farm. Let's get up and have a look at that. What an interesting fight this one will be. You can see the Dragon's Teeth. For God's sake, I'd spent so much time in the other night trying to work out what Dragon's Teeth were called. So the Dragon's Teeth there on the left-hand side. So if you have a look on the map where I am, I'm hovering over the middle of the map right now. Here's Pierre's farm down there below us. Left-hand side, as we look at it, you can see a whole bunch of Dragon's Teeth running up north to south. Top to bottom, rather. So that sort of funnels vehicles through a certain couple of points. They can either come through the main road, the middle point, or the far right, which is just over the map edge, and I've got the hiccups now. Great. Up the north, wide open. Wide open. I mean, there's a bit of terrain there. And we go and have a bit of a look. There's a few bushes, shrubberies, bocage, hedgerows, whatever you want to call it. Got to bring a shrubbery to a good fight. That's what I learned from Monty Python. But
and a herring.
And the herring, well, yes. So I guess important pieces of terrain. This little area here that I'm looking at right now is the housing to the northeast, the barn and so forth. There's lots of trenching in there, lots of walls, lots of areas to hide into. You've got to cover this area. Quite often I'll have teams that actually have a garrison out here, and it's friggin' impossible to get across these paddocks and get into that point. If it's defended well enough, just a handful of people can close off this sector, which means that if we look where we are now, top right there, that's a great vital area. That's going to be so important. Not even going to run the timer. Folks can work it out for themselves. Down the bottom right here, though, on map edge, if you see where I am now, you can see supplies are coming in, actually. There's not a lot to play with down here. You can get, down the Dragon's Teeth there where the Belgian gates are on that little road. You can get a garrison in sort of around that area. But it's very hard to press out from here because there's not a lot of cover unless you're using the Dragon's Teeth. Now, if we whip across to the western side, you can have a look at all of this lovely wheat field. That is critical. And if we get right out here now on the left, you can see buildings way out to the west. So what you'd be looking for is a garrison out this way somewhere, and there's another wheat field up to the northwest a little. Garrison out here somewhere, and then pop your OPs in amongst all these wheat fields here. And I mean, they might find you Gary, but they're not going to find all those OPs. So you're always going to have a presence out this way. But if we just whip back across to Pierre's, there's two more wheat fields. So the south side is just dominated by wheat fields at the moment that are going to be a big play, I think, in this game. Then, of course, the last piece I didn't look at, I'll just get across to it quickly, where those wheat fields come into is the back of those buildings just to the northwest, just off the main supply route there. And there's some trenching there as well. And another great spot to park stuff and try and push into the point. So I think more importantly, if you get this point and you hold it, you need to press out to all of those areas to stop the enemy from getting staging bases. Okay, let's have a look on the other team here. We're talking to Jagdpanzer now, mate. What do we got for vehicles on their team at the moment? What do we got? Where are they moving?
So they punched the supply truck straight down that main road towards the church, and they're following it up with their M4 Sherman. So strong push to try and get those starting Garys up.
I'm watching the OC team, and they're pushing to the north, to the west of the point and to the southeast of the point to get their staging points up as well. I can see vehicles coming in now, just off to the left there. And of course, Gobotron's sitting in a truck. I love it, mate. That's awesome. So we're watching Gobes on the top left screen there and Riley on the top right screen. He's watching the wheat fields. There's the trucks coming into the point now, and we can see all the blues dropping out from the OC team. And I'm watching that truck down below me as well. They're pushing out to the west of the map. OC are really got a dominant push here. I can't see. Oh, what was that just blew up? That was their truck. What was that shot?
That was the M4 Sherman. Just nailed their transport truck.
Geez, he got up there quick. Oh, there he is down the main road. All right, this is interesting.
Yeah.
This is an interesting start here. I don't know what that was around the back there as well. There's a supply truck with the commander in it. OC are pushing up that side of the map. Here goes the Sherman. We're going to get across onto the onto the point rather, and have a look at what the Sherman does. And he's running in with a truckload of troops behind him. There's a few people there, though. There's about 20 OC on the point already. And like the back of a Herc, we can see all of these troops raining out of the back of that transport truck. Here we go onto the point now. Blue are in there pretty firmly. They've got about a 50% cap so far. That tank is finally marked. It took him a couple of minutes to mark the tank. That's fascinating. That intel should have been well and truly in there to that infantry. There's an anti-tank rocket coming in from the right. That's pretty interesting. Riley, we might get you down behind that tank if we can, please, mate, and just get that perspective of it if we can have a look at it. I'm just going to make sure I've got... There we go. No, not you. There we are. Riley's there now.
Uh-oh.
Dropping off go.
This doesn't look good. The M4's in trouble here. Nope. He ran over the head of the would-be Satcheler.
Oh, no way. Absolutely not. So
Klausy had his skull crushed. Sorry, Nicholas.
You're right, man. Up the top right now, I've got Magical Arab infantry on the ground at the truck trying to do his thing, and we've got Riley behind that tank who's now getting shot in the arse. We're looking for infantry support on that tank, of course, and there's none to be seen. And there it goes. Thanks for coming, tank. You are out of here. We are looking at the Sibs tank out there with Red Cordial and Bar on the left flank there. That tank will come in now and dominate the point because the Allied tank is gone. So Arab's running across a wheat field up in the top right corner. I can see him way up there on the top of the map, so that's fascinating stuff. All right, let's go back across now to Gobertron's and drop off Arab for the moment. Gobes has got a big panoramic view there. And we're looking at the point in general speaking. And Riley, we're going to drop you off. I'm going to see if we can bring up Deadman now because he's controlling the point. I think, no, he's running up a road somewhere. Let's find Deadman. Let's have a bit of a look, see where he's gone.
There's an AT gun hitting the Panzer IV.
Oh, whereabouts is that? God, I've got too many cameras now, of course.
I missed.
Right, so I'm pulling up. I'll leave Riley on there.
He's down.
Panzer
You don't
IV's
have
down.
You don't have the map overlay stuck, just by check?
Map overlay stuck? No, I do not. No, I do not. I've got your screen seems to be locked though. Can you move for me, please? Just do a check.
I am. Yeah, moving.
No, it's frozen, man.
All right,
All
one
right.
second.
That's all right. We'll get back to Gobes up there. We've got plenty of options at the moment. All right, so OC have taken the point, as we can clearly see here. We're watching Deadman up there in the top left as he runs around doing his thing. I'm not sure where he is at the moment. I think he might be up north a little bit. We just want to get an idea where he is. Hang on, there's NVS, Lord Ginge, Deadman. Oh, okay, Deadman's way up here on that top right corner. So top left there, you can see Deadman, and now I'm hovering over him on the main screen. Let's do the confirm. There he is in the trench, and they're trying to dominate that area we were just talking about before the match. All right, so OC have clearly dominated straight up here, Riley. What do our public need to do?
Well, they're all pushing in from the western side, so they really need to get a better spawn presence right on the front line, because at the moment their front line's in the red zone with their only garrison.
All right, so there's one garrison, and I'm assuming that is where all those orange are out to the northwest. Let's have a bit of a look at that quickly. There's a Panzer IV on the point now, driving in there to the north. So we can see 4 OC garrisons, plus supplies going up to that top right where I talked about before. OC are going to lock the hell out of this. I can see a few vehicles way up the back there driving around, so not sure what's going on there, but that's a light vehicle by the look of it on map edge. It's been marked already. So OC have got some great intel going on. Here's this push down the left flank now. I'm hovering over that as we talk. We might just get across to your screen now, Riley, and see what you're following. What are you following? Actually, you're following a tank there, aren't you?
This is the Greyhound, yeah. So they've had their M4 killed. They've grabbed the Greyhound. They're running straight towards an AT gentleman, the Joshua Tree. And look, they've had a slight geographical challenge there. And that's all over for the Greyhound.
All right, so let's get that back up. The Greyhound was... didn't have an ideal run of it. Okay, fair enough. That happens. And what I'm doing there is I'm just having a look. We've got Arab in the top right and Riley just running around while Gobes has a play with his screen at the moment. We may just have to link back into you there, Gobes. It happens. What are you seeing on your screen at the moment anyway, Gobes? What's happening?
Just the Panzer IV's pushing up on the far right side, so it's moving up with the infantry. So it looks like OC are pushing up with a 2-3-man push in front, while the Panzer IV pushes up behind.
Right, so a pretty dominant presence here from OC on the point, and while we can see Gobes up the top right there, he just seems to be lagging out a bit, mate, and I think that might be my end more than anything, so I'm going to customise the frame rate and see what happens. We're on 30 there, that should be good enough. Excuse me. So, it's pretty interesting how this stuff works. We've certainly learnt a little bit as we've worked over the last couple of days on it. But you can see there, Riley's following the tank in the top left. Gobes is trying to work that top right corner. And it's an OC point all the way. I'm looking at the main map. We've got 7 garrisons up now and a supply cache going in out to the west to dominate that side as well. Where the BiGD public team at the moment are kind of lurking. So... Arab needs to do something. Arab's dead now in our screen. We're just looking at him top right. This is all the way OC at the moment. They've got complete sector control everywhere. Geez, that's looking pretty ugly for the public team. And their sector control's so good from the...
76 is coming on the field. And it doesn't not see the Panzer IV on its left flank. It's hit the radar station now. The 76.
I'm just zooming up there and having a bit of a look at that fight that's going up north while we see that Panzer IV there at the top of the screen and the 76 is just off to our left. We're watching the public team here try and control their own back line where they're getting shot from that top right corner of the screen, which is on their map edge, into their own spawn points. There's an anti-tanker there. I think that is, Joshua, running around behind their lines shooting them. Cheems is ignorant of the fact that his mate's getting shot. No, he's just worked it out. This is just absolute domination at the moment from OC for the public team. They're dominating their own sector. Here's the tank coming in now, unaware of that Panzer IV. There's that Panzer IV right up in the top left there of my screen, and the tank. There we go. Josh is down finally. We're just watching that Panzer IV, though, rip around behind him. That's fascinating stuff. Going to try and get across to your screen, Gobes, if you're following one of them. No, it's lagging out a bit too much, mate. We can't do that, unfortunately.
Roger.
Red, I'll get you to follow that Panzer IV if you can, please, mate. And while you're doing that, we'll try and bring that up on the right side and pull Red to the main screen. So there we go. Red's now on the main screen. You're the show pony for us here, Red. And I'm just up in the... Oh, I thought I was up in the top right corner, but it didn't work. I'm, of course, on the wrong side as well. Oh, this is going brilliantly. Let's move me up the top.
So the public team, there are no marks on that Panzer IV from the public team. So the 76 has just had it's about to be satcheled by Deadman, and it's got a Panzer IV coming up behind it. So they need to have a lot more awareness if they're going to have any chance of not wasting that heavy tank.
Oh no, that's There's a real problem here for the public team, isn't it? They're just not. There we go. There's the Panzer IV shooting the back of the public team's tank right in front of. Where it gets my screen up here. There we go. Back there. There's the shots happening. It's.
They might get lucky here because they've knocked the engine out of the Sherman, so it's stuck. But it's bounced 2 off the rear. So there we go.
Oh no, there it goes. Yeah, and there's public guys in behind that, and one of the public guys died somehow in there. Something blew him out. Oh, he got shot by a rocket, I think. He got shot by a rocket of his own team. Oh, that's a disaster. That's an absolute disaster.
Deadman, who often channels a bit of Darth Vader, slaughtering everyone.
Great shot from Vast into the back of that tank before Deadman killed him. That Panzer IV was off and running. Deadman's killed all those guys, but their tank's down. So that's a nice little play there. It's not going to make much difference on the map at the moment, unfortunately, because, the OC team are dominating this. I mean, have a look at that map control. We can see, though, on the right-hand side here, there was a bit of a push coming in. I'm just going to get across to that now. Gobes, we're looking out towards the southwest. Fox 6 here, mate. Get you to have a bit of a look there and tell me what you can see going on there, please.
Give me one.
Right, he's racing out there now. Put him on the spot. There he is. His screen's up. With Johnny on the spot. He's having a look at the map. It's still freezing.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, you're right, mate. It's just shit that happens as we're trialing this multicam stuff. We'll still follow Arab in the top right. But what's happening out there?
Looks like the public team have set up another garrison and spawn point just at the bunker at the middle point, and they're slowly trying to push through the cornfields and take it out. But seems OC have just lost their flank, but they've got a machine gun sitting on top of the roof covering the axis of approach. So they're going to need someone to take that machine gunner out.
That's a very favoured spot, no matter which level of comp or public games that you're playing. They'll just get in on that machine gunner now and have a bit of. There's two of them actually, and this is exactly what you need to do when you're on this point, is get this type of stuff going on. You can see Sparrowfart there as we watch him. Good name, by the way. He's got a bit of cover on his right side from the house. Sullivan's a bit more exposed, so a decent shot. I know, Gobes, you're able to pop him off the top of the roof like this. I was watching you do it in Carrington. No, not Carrington. Where were we last night, mate? The wheel plane that you were shooting him off the roof out of the chapel. What was that? That was Sainte-mere-du-mont, wasn't it?
Yeah, Sainte-mere-du-mont. Yeah, I'll shoot them.
But you can see that Sullivan and Sparrowfart are absolutely dominating this push that's coming in from that, well, what is it, sort of west side there. And yeah, there's no answer from the public team at the moment. None whatsoever. They have absolutely been dominated off the map right now, and they've got no response for this OC push. I mean, Sparrowfart is doing so well there. He's had to get back down and try and get some ammunition, I reckon. You know, so that tells you if machine gunners are living through ammo boxes, it means they're not being put in any pressure whatsoever. We've got supplies coming in there. I can see. I just heard something blow up to my right. I'm not even sure what that was, but it certainly wouldn't have been a tank. Watching out over the wheat fields now. I can see there's a squad leader coming in there on the wheat fields. I'm watching Riley's tank there in the top left-hand corner as well. What's that tank you got there, mate? Where's that coming from?
They just grabbed another M4A1 straight out of middle. So this is going to, again, favour the OC team, because this is the fourth armoured vehicle that the public team have had to roll out, whereas OC have only just lost their first. So they're going to have enough fuel for a Tiger. And you need a pretty experienced crew to take out a Tiger in one of these medium Shermans. So it's not going to go well. It's not least in the public team's favour for the armour battle coming up.
And I'm just watching that Tiger tank now coming in from the south of Pierre's farm. It's about 2 grid squares out. And you are correct. I mean, what is the benefit of taking these light tanks, Riley?
They're faster and they're cheaper. So if you can get beside or behind a heavy tank, you'll go all right. But problem with especially the American heavy tanks is they turn so quick. So even if you track them, it's no disadvantage. They can virtually spin on the spot. It looks like the public team have marked the Tiger now. So
yeah, that's interesting. Getting that intel in early, that's good stuff. But there's not much I can do about it at the moment. I've just noticed something as well. Whilst there's a good push coming in here out on the northwest into this, or the west side really, into this wheat field that we're hovering over, there's Cashy. There's his shout out. I'll give him one shout out per competition round. Ginger's coming in to kill him. Look at as we get in closer here, I'm just going to zoom in a bit, and you can see how thick this wheat field is. So, Gobes, I watched you in a match. I think it was an early match on this map actually. That people were literally standing on you before they found you.
That was admins versus the public.
That's the one. And they were trying to find you. It was about 6 of them, I think, for about 5 minutes trying to find you, and then they finally stood on you and found you. And it was hilarious to watch. But what I'm seeing here is a little bit of a neutralisation from that machine gun nest on the top, because they must have just that slight elevated perspective that gets you a little bit of motion. Here's Ginge running straight past Cash Cow. That's excellent stuff. I love that when that happens. He's got to missed him by about 6 feet, if that. We've got a few coming in here. There's Danger Klaus around the back as well. So Cashy and Mr. Nice are in the wheat field. But what can they do from there? Oh, they can. Cashy, as soon as he stood up, that machine gunner chopped him down. Absolutely, as soon as he stood up. Are there any OPs out there? Riley, can you see any OPs out in that wheat field at Fox 6?
In Fox 6, we've got one. We've got Fox Scott, which is Cashy's got an OP in the wheat field.
I just found it, I think. Yeah, absolutely. I just found their OP. There you go. Back out we go.
Meat Fingers has got one, but their flank is not looking strong at the moment.
Just spin ourselves around to the point, and as I always like to do, on the point, crickets, except for the machine gunners, of course. That's a bit of humour for me. I do a sound clip there. The boys in the channel going, what the fuck is he talking about? Right, so here's FedEx and Tomcat. Oh, it's a piecemeal attack, isn't it, Gobes?
It's not fun.
They're not. This is not the public team that I've been watching over the last few weeks. This is just a hodgepodge of stuff at the moment. I mean, okay, so Riley, let's talk about this from last night. And Gobes, actually, let's talk about it with you, because you were the one that initiated this last night. On the dugout, you came into the point, and then just behind you off to the right a little bit, or the east a little bit, a whole surge of your team came in, and there were about, 4 defenders on the point at the time?
There was only two.
there you go.
I was blocking their garrison, so I took down the garrison and I sat there and they tried to put it up a few times and they couldn't figure out where I was.
Yep. And then what happened? Well, what happened after that point?
They put another garrison up. I ran back to take it out, but they got me. But I gave everyone enough time to run down the hill and run from the top of the map back down onto the point. So it gave us enough time to regroup and reattack. And
there it is, mate. Is what happened was there weren't enough defenders on the point to respond to a surge wave like that rolled into the point and just punched it open, and that's what won the game. That literally the point turned in less than 2 minutes to go. The point turned, and your team won. Much to my complete surprise, it was absolutely blindsided me. I'm just going to run across here to Deadman and see what he's up to. Riley, I've taken your camera down, so we're looking at the 2 point of views right now for the two teams. Deadman in the top left corner, Magical Arab here. I'm hovering over. He's in the top right there. He's trying to fight against Lotion. There's Lotion's name said. Oh, and Lotion's capped him. Just outclassed there a little bit. Out in the middle of the paddock there. Didn't do him so well. So we'll just rip that off, and Gobes is trying to muck around on his screen. That's fine. We'll go back to Arab. Good stuff. I'm going to try and get yours up in a minute, Red. Actually, I'm going to try and move your screen over to that top right.
We're about to have a tank battle, Noppers.
Yep.
Except we're currently on the edge of the map, right on the front line.
Got it. I absolutely got it. I was actually hovering just over it. So there's some blues flanking around on the side of that Sherman. What sort is it? 75 or 76?
No, it's a standard medium for 75, yeah. So it was going a big wide flank on the Tiger, but it got distracted. The AT tickled it enough, and the Tiger's just waiting for it now, sitting in an open field. Yeah. So it's a bit of a standoff at the moment. He's hiding. He knows that if he takes one peek out there, he's going to get shredded by the 88.
They're just trying to repair it now. There's an anti-tanker coming up on the left, of course, because they dominate Joshua. Joshua's going to just come in and shoot that. The Tiger's just providing him protection. And this is the problem when you send a tank in by itself. It's, move solo, die solo. Unfortunately, although they're getting a couple of kills here, Josh is probably going to flank around and kill them. And I'm going to stay on this for a second, and then we're going to try and get Red's screen, see what's happened. So, we're just watching a little bit here. Here's Josh. Here we go. Bam. There it is into the back. Oh, he didn't kill the player.
No. Blackbeard's still up. But now he's in.
He's in his
this is going to be all over now for the...
There it is.
Poor little medium.
Yeah. There we go. Absolutely. And Deadman was just next to that kill as well. So, oh gosh, this is very untidy. So what do we go? About 20 minutes left on the clock. Complete OC domination right now. Gobes, are you seeing, or Riley, are you seeing any of their public team anywhere? There's some way out to the west. God, they've gone wide.
It's pretty much the same as their starting play. They've got, what's that? That's 200 metres, 400 metres out from the point. They've got a wide flank on the west, but it's a single point approach. That's now their front line in the red. So
I'm just moving Red's screen over to that top right so we can get a bit more of his view as well here. Well, Gobes isn't working tonight, so I'm just going to drop off Gumby. Red, it's now your moment to shine, mate. We're looking at your lovely... What's he doing? He's watching porn? No, he's fine. We just had to check. It's all good. So now Red's going to do some squad level stuff, so get in behind one of the squads for us, please, mate, and let's have a bit of a look to see what some of that one-on-one fight is. And probably the best place... Oh, I've got my thing on too fast. Looking around Fox 5 at the moment, that's where all the combat is. And geez, I tell you what, OC are dominating them 1-for-1. Wormel just died. Meat Fingers is in there trying to push on Lotion. I'm just going to back away from that, and we'll have a look from a top perspective while Red gets in nice and close on some of this fight stuff. Good sweeping camera work there, Red. That's lovely. I love it. Here he is. You're following Lotion now, I think. Is that correct? That was a thumbs up, I believe. There you go. So they've Lotion's managed to kill most of them out here with his mate, whoever that is on the right-hand side. Let's have a look. Lord Ginge. Okay, yeah. So this wheat field's completely dominated out here. Oh, Gobes, anything going on anywhere else, mate? It's a very quiet battle, this one. No, we lost R2.
Nah, it's pretty quiet. They had a recon flanking around the back of the public team, but that got shut down.
Yeah.
They're only focused on one axis, which is they need to work with that tank. They really need to have infantry supporting that tank with a push-up. That's what they need aim for.
Tomcat, there he goes. There, look at this. Lotion and Lord Ginge. Red's watching them. We're going to keep that on. Red's going to follow those two players around while they control that sector up there. I just heard a plane come across. I haven't seen an airhead yet. Has anyone noticed any airheads? There's another tank battle going on up here by the sounds of it. Just going to whip up to that as well. Oh, look at that. There's OC right up the back here. Up here, Pooch has just been... Oh, yeah, okay, that was Deadman. So we were watching Deadman in the top left screen. I wasn't watching that screen. So, wow, look at that. And look, they're getting... The Tiger tank is up in Hotel 3, pushing in and just shredding there. We're going to go to Riley's picture there because he's following that tank. A little bit laggy. Okay, so I'm having a little bit of laggy problems tonight. I'm not sure who that's coming from, whether it be you guys or me. Oh, look at that. Spawn wave just came off. These guys can't even get out of their own spawn. That's how bad it is for them at the moment. I feel so sorry for them at the moment. Okay, well, let's stop feeling sorry for them. Let's have a bit of a chat about what they should do. So I'm going to go to you first, Riley. I'm going to get you to have a look at your map there, which you are doing in that top left screen. And I want you to talk me through what you would do if you're in charge of the public team right now.
Well, I think half the problem they've had most of the game is that OC pushed out really aggressively into the 4 row straight away. So they haven't been able to get close to that front line. So naturally, the first thing they've tried is the western flank. I think what they're going to have to do is try and cut them off. Like, I'm not sure how many defenders OC actually have left in Pierre's, but they've got a reasonable force up in that H4, H3 sector with their Tiger. So I think your best bet is to try. Missed a lot of gore then by looking at the map. Yeah,
got that one, mate. Let me tell you, that's a lot of dead people and a commander, a very frustrated commander, the Pooch, I reckon, who's running around next to it.
A lot of AT guns here, but that Tiger's just on them so quickly. But I think what they need to do is try and cut them. They need a good push across the face of the front line, probably with armour. Maybe set up some pre-existing AT guns and try and push in as one.
Yeah.
Or half tracks.
Yeah, and there's a bit of a spawn wave. I watched a truck just coming in before, actually, that was skirted around that Tiger somehow. Now, this is interesting. I'll say why this is interesting, because these fellas here, if they're pound for pound, if they're as good as the OC players, there's more of them. There's 7 of them against 4 on the point, 5 on the point. So they could technically come in and do something here, get a garrison up forward. We're looking at effectively Golf 5. So, Red, I'm going to whip your camera across to Golf 5 and follow these guys in, if we can, please. See what the defenders do. Oh, look at that. The defenders are already there, chopping them down. We've just seen Shuey and Captain Meatfingers. It's interesting here. That's a big spawn wave coming in. But, Gobes, I want to throw to you now. And what would you do, mate, right now, if you were the public team?
As I can see, they're using recon, so I try to get recon behind the point, do some airhead, do an airhead, a drop, but they seem to be pushing too much together. As you can see, OC are grouped up in groups of 3. The way to beat that, you group yourselves up in the groups of 4 and you push both sides. And that's what they're not doing. They're actually running all together as a group. They need to spread out and get that crossfire going.
When you haven't got, it doesn't seem like the squad level tactics are working very well here. I know Pooch is a pretty good commander, all the times I've played with him, but it just doesn't seem to be gelling at all tonight. It really doesn't. So I'm just going to throw back here to a little bit of map-wide perspective, and I'm going to point out a couple of things that I reckon the public team should do right now to to change their lot. So I'm hovering over just northeast of Pierre's farm. I'll just bring up the map as to where I am. Here I am over here, folks. And you know, we know that there's a lot of sector control here from OC. So I can see 3, 5, 7 plus a half track on the point. So they've absolutely dominated sector control. So the first thing you have to do is get somewhere for you guys to come in and start a staging point. We know OC push out. Every single time we know they push out from the point. They push away from the point and they will respond by redeploying. We know they're going to do that. Okay, so now that we understand that, let's get our attacking lines up. So if we're being dominated out here to the west, cool. Let's go 1 grid square west, get a couple. There's a garrison up here at Echo 4 in amongst all those buildings. That's a start point. Now the garrison up in here near the cattle sheds. That's where you put about 6 to 8 people and they start pushing in around this area here. So I'm just indicating around the Fox Echo 5. And then we know there's wheat fields, we know there's good players there, that's fine. The next thing we do is we get some sort of fire support base up here. A machine gunner, an anti-tank gun or something. Here's a bombing run coming over, so that's the public team's bombing run. It's going over the point. Yeah, I know, I see what they're doing there actually. They've got a couple of people there, they think they've got a shot at it, but the bombing run's not going to hit anything because there's nobody there. And that's the problem, is the public team don't know that. They're not getting good intel, I don't think. So you set up some sort of fire support base up this way, an anti-tank gun. Then you set up something else up here, an anti-tank gun. They tried that up at Hotel 4. I get that because the Tiger rolled through. All right, so we know there's a Tiger running around the bank. So we've got 1,320 fuel. We get a 76 in. We run it down and we chase down that Tiger and we use infantry support off the garrison at the cattle sheds because we should know where that Tiger is if we're communicating properly. And that, I think, is the thing that's missing here for the public team. The comms must be going badly with the amount of people that are kind of just doing what looks like their own thing. Once you get rid of that Tiger, you set up the defensive perimeter here at Hotel 3. You set your defensive base up. Then you start your push down probing attacks down from 3 different axes with 3 lines of fire support or, you know, multiple lines of fire support in there. So a machine gun and a tank or a machine gun and an anti-tank gun or something like that in different spots. And you get fire support when OC try and push out, you're shelling them, allowing your guys time to do stuff. OC now start to feel the pressure up the north here. They push out as many people as they are. Then you try your airhead and you try your back garrison and you try all that different stuff down this way. Down along here, there are options. OC are so far out that they will take time and you've got to coordinate this stuff. That is what I would do if I was the public team. Now, what are they doing? Let's talk about that. Jagdpanzer, what are you seeing? I can see a spawn wave over at cattle sheds. No, that's just the admins, I think.
Yeah, it is. So they're bringing the 76 down there on that main road again, but we already know that OC are pushed out there, so they're going to have to try something different, in my opinion. But they have managed to get a garrison up on the east side of the front line, so that'll be interesting.
I've just seen that.
And it looks like they've just marked the Tiger.
I've just seen Tattoo has written, "I've lost all audio." And that's slightly disappointing, isn't it? That could change things a little bit here because he's the commander of the OC team. The beauty of this is they're probably chatting on Discord. If they aren't, then you know, one of the other squad leads will probably take over from a commander's perspective and actually give direction.
They're going to have a tank battle here. The 76 just come across the side of a retreating Tiger with a damaged engine. I don't know if they saw it.
I'm just running up to have a look at that. There it is. I can see that now. I'm just watching the 76 on the top left there. The Tiger is... Oh, there's a supply truck I can see. We've got
he's just been marked.
Just over 10 minutes left. Can't see that Tiger. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, there it is. I got it.
I think the other thing the public team I've noticed is they're not using all of the supplies. So yeah, they've got 660 and supplies, and supply drops aren't going to work in a public game. But the enemy will get used to hearing planes. You know, they'll become slightly desensitized if they're constantly dropping planes, which does give you a slight chance of sneaking 1 or 2 things in. So
yeah, and that's something I use that tactic all the time myself there, Riley. I drop supplies. I'll put some sort of aircraft over at the same time as I put a supply drop over, followed just shortly afterwards by an airhead. And that way, hopefully all the eyes because everyone's always looking for airheads, all the eyes are up looking at the first thing. And if you put it far enough away, they can't ever quite tell whether it's an airhead or a supply. And so they'll all rush towards it and people will be redeploying and everything. And then the second one might get off, but you've got to put it far enough away as well. So there's a little bit of tricky timing here, a little bit of clever play. There's that Tiger I'm watching. You can see the 76 over the middle left of the screen there. There's the Tiger just shot a truck. So now everybody knows there's something down there that can blow up trucks. So that was interesting ploy there from the Tiger, because that 76 is coming in hot and heavy. I'm going to run across to your screen now, Riley, and we're going to watch you head in behind that Tiger. Red, if you could fire. Oh, that's a good shot!
That was a good shot.
Never mind. I'll leave you on the top left camera there, mate, but what a great shot. Finally, the 76 has come up with the goods. This is interesting. 10 minutes to go. There's Blackbeard, Deoxy, and the Dark Angel. So there's another Tiger down at the spawn, though. Yeah, absolutely. So they're ready to go with another Tiger down there. So how long does it take you to get a Tiger up into the middle of the map there, Riley?
Oh, feels like about 6 years. Especially if you have to come through the fields. If they've spawned at mid, it's a little bit quicker.
No, right spawn, so they're going through the city.
Yeah, that's pretty slow. Especially to...
Yeah, keep going, mate.
No. Well, the US has got such a straight road. You can see from, almost the bay. There's a hill in about row 3. You can see all the way there down to row 7. So you could really shut down that main road with a high-powered gun if you needed to.
Well, there's a little bit of a push.
Even an anti-tank gun would be good.
I haven't seen enough of that stuff, and maybe because the Tiger crew did so damn well. But I'm just hovering over here. We're following your tank. It's a little bit. There's a little bit of lag in there as well. Red's stream's coming through nicely. Some really good squad action there going on, Red. I can see someone running at a truck. No, that's Arab. Sorry, I take that back. That's Arab's screen we're looking at, top right corner, and at the moment top left is Riley. Here's the 76 pushing on the point. I just wanted to point out, as we're watching stuff going on, there's a spawn wave from OC in the middle there. We've got a little bit of a commander push here. He's leading from the front. Not ideal because he just got shot. So he won't be able to build anything. Rabbits scratching in the background here. I'm not sure if you can hear that. Good times. They always do this when I stream. Probably they don't like my voice, so they get all dominant or some damn thing. I don't know. Anyway... I'll have to show a picture of it one day so that people at least can see it. Thanks for the follows and the resubs and things in the channel there too, folks. It's awesome to see. A little bit challenging for me to mention that while I'm doing the cast, of course, because it's delayed. That tank's now on PS Farm, so they're throwing in their lot at 8 minutes to go. There's the machine gunner still on the roof. Those guys have only come down for ammo and maybe a drinks break occasionally. Those machine gunners dominating. The push from the north, the commander was leaving, got shredded. The tank's now getting shot by God knows what. But I just saw something blow up the back of the tank. Oh, that's the AT guy around the back here. So, yeah, Nakajim's coming in pretty fast. He's going to take his time. He's going to bide his time because he knows that tank's moving away. It's finally marked. There is a supply drop down south. Oh, he's hit it, but he hasn't killed it. That's a costly mistake here. But there's another AT. God, it's everybody with an AT gun at the moment. Gobe's nothing more satisfying than killing a tank with an AT gun. You do play a lot of recon though, so I'm not sure how much AT. What level is your AT, mate?
I think my level AT guy is 5. But I do like blowing stuff up. I always seem to get recon very often, so I usually go spotter and let someone else snipe.
Yeah, there you go. I do like a good tank.
If you have a look, the actual public team have built 2 garrisons at the back behind them on the far corner at H6, and they haven't noticed. OC have not noticed.
I'm just watching an airhead drop in actually right now. The airhead was called in the OC team, so they know it's there. They sent troops to that. Tattoo's yelling at him. The commander is yelling at him, get back to control points up. So they've got a strategy based on that, that they have sectors that they have to control, and that's exactly how they do it. And
here comes the Tiger onto the point.
Oh, it's just nailed the shit out of somebody. That Tiger's all over that airhead. They'll get a spawn wave off, but this is going to be a deadly spawn wave because it's going to get tigered.
I'm pretty sure that Tiger, that airhead was a diversionary tactic, so the guys can attack from the right side.
Well, there's a spawn wave of 4. Arab's in there. We've got his screen up. He's hiding in the grass, shitting himself because there's a Tiger tank on him. Look at that. This was a deliberate attack point here. There's an APC running around the back there from the OC guys. So they're setting up a second APC. That's how good their tanks have been. They haven't burnt through their fuel. The infantry's surviving here. There's an assault and an anti-tank guy. So they might have... there's another spawn wave. So that airhead's still alive. Oh, well. The airhead was alive. And now all that's left is a single anti-tanker. Oh, cut the commercial, they say. Cut the commercial. We're going back to the machine gunners on the roof. There's the last one. I mean, that was just brutal. All right, well, that's the end of that attack from the public team. There's 5 minutes left in this match. They have drawn away. They have drawn away a lot of the OC guys. Just curious to know if they got a garrison up or anything around Golf 5, where those supplies are coming in from the OC team. There is an OP there. Yep, there we go. So there's an OP there. So they've got a spawn wave. But again, it's back to a single sector attack. I can see recon around the back there. Gobes, what's that recon guy doing down south there at Golf 6, 7 at the moment?
I believe he's tearing down a garrison. Now he's pushing up. He's got the Tiger teeth, but he's pulled down a couple of garrisons.
He has, and that's taken 40 minutes for someone to get down there and clear out that sector control. There's a great bombing run ahead of those troops on the point. I don't think they're going to take this, though. There's just not enough there. There's just not enough there. The squad leader, Paddox is getting some supplies in now. We're going to go back to Arab. We're going to go back to the first point of views here because this is interesting stuff. Paddox is going to get a garrison down now in that area, but OC will have seen that supply drop go in. They've got an infantry marker on there at least, so that's information. 5 minutes left, George Soros is telling everybody. There's an airhead coming in from OC on the point. There's that Tiger tank over in the background. Paddox is trying to build a garrison. I think he's got one up finally. No, not at all. Where's the garrison? Why isn't there a garrison built here in the attacking side of things? Oh, goodness me.
The other thing I've noticed is they keep getting their tanks from middle spawn, so they're wasting a lot of time, and they could be getting them right spawn and utilising that big sight line that the US have got. They've got about 900 metres that they can just play with.
I just realised that why there's no garrison there is because their supplies got blown up, and they just got strafed. And it was the OC supplies that they took down. So, great fly pass. Thanks for that one. And there's an airhead going on the point now from OC. They're all back in sector control, and that's what they're saying. So, Riley, talk to me about that tank situation. They're pulling him from middle spawn. So what does this mean?
Well, they've effectively had to drive another 600 metres. And at 18 k's an hour, it's not particularly fast. So that 76 has only just hit, a place that you could hit in a third of the time if you'd brought that tank in right spawn. Now, why they haven't spawned there, I don't know. Maybe they've already pre-put a vehicle there. Maybe they put their nodes in the wrong spot, so they can't. But yeah, we've got the 76 coming down the road, and he's got really nice sight lines, and they've marked the Tiger. So, really, I think at this point, you're best sitting back with that. Well, you've got 2 minutes to go. You're probably best just
sit
throw
anyway,
it in,
mate. It's all over Red Rover. I did call it last night at the 2 minute mark, but the difference last night was that the Gobatron's team had spawn points within 100 metres of the cap, actually, within 200, and that allowed them to come in pretty quickly. Look, I am seeing a spawn wave in the northeast corner / east corner over here. That's a pretty cool spot. There's 2 spawn waves. They've actually taken this sector. There you go. Look at that. But they're already OC are all over that. Bar's marked that. I have to make the little noise there. Bar has marked that as a spawn point, so they know something's out there, and they'll be trying to control that sector for the 2 minutes it'll take for them to win. Barring some sort of massive bombing run, which they don't have, or a brilliant tank move here, I think OC have got this one, lads.
I think they do.
I think it's safe to say that, yes.
We're about to see the heavies face off.
Yeah, I'm just watching the back of this Tiger now, mate. Let's go across to your screen, have a bit of a look. So you're at the back of the Sherman.
76. But he's got the first round in.
There it is.
So they should get him. Unless the 76 does something wrong, they should get that Tiger.
Oh, and they've hit it with an AT as well. Oh, and there you go. Nice little finishing kill there for the 76, but it's not going to be enough. He's got 1 minute. He's marked. Took him a while to mark that tank, actually.
Has there been a bombing run on the point? Across the point, though?
It went through about four minutes ago from the public team. Oh, they're shooting the carcass of the Tiger. It went through from the public team about 4 minutes ago when that little push came in from, on my screen, the top left there. That's not going to do it. They're not going to have, anything. I need more booze. That's what I need. They're not going to have anything here. That Sherman has to push hard onto the point, and those infantry need to get across. They've got less than a minute.
Sherman's gone again.
There's an anti-tank gun over to the right. It's taken them 44 minutes to get that in a position where they can shell the point. Just too long. That's now suppressing the point pretty well. OC have got people up north. But look at that again. There's someone up there in the top right of my screen flanking around the back of the public team and killing all their guys. There he just got shot finally. But that's dominance. That is absolute dominance from the OC team. Great initial sector control, followed by sector dominance throughout the entire map. I've got to have a look at the nameplate distance stuff. I just saw that in there, and that's GG, folks. That's the GG. All right, so Gobes, talk to me about it, mate. What did you think of that one?
It was pretty clinical from OC. They set up really good defenses. When they got killed, the other team that was close come in to support, and they used all their garrisons. They didn't spawn off OPs really. They spawned off Garys. So they spawned off OPs and used them as warning alarms. And then as soon as it went red, they attacked it. So it was really well done.
Go on.
I was just going to say I think the public team need to reach out to some other clans and do some bit more training, but they played well. For a group of people who have just started playing together, they're doing really well.
Yeah, I'm just going to quickly say for the folks listening in on this, they just asked about putting the icons out further. The trouble is, in admin cam at this distance, I'm at maximum already at 500. So, there, you can see there, I finally get into range for Envious Beast to be able to see it. Anyway, Riley, what are your thoughts on that match, please, man?
Yeah, it was a tough one. It looked like they didn't get their starting Garys up quick enough right on the front line to help the push, and I think they went down centre of the map with 2 trucks, which is, in the end, it's out of the sector. It's still 200 metres from the sector that even influences the cap, so I think they'll learn a lot from rewatching the stream and their opening strategy, because once OC sort of locked out that front line, that 200 metres north of the front line, they couldn't get close. They're forced to go in the red, and that's always tough unless you're running like 2-man squads with a billion OPs. So,
all right, so what we're going to do now, gentlemen, and I agree with you, that was a pretty tough round for the guys from the public team, but I'm interested in working with Arab and the other crew to maybe give them some tips and tricks. Certainly, I try and give that information in our streams so that folks are always learning what's going on. We are going to now take a pause as we bump to the next match. And of course, that match is going to be TFK versus NID AAS, I believe. Am I right on that? I've just sort of forgotten it. Let's have a look. Yes, we are TFK versus NID AAS. So I'm interested to see how this one goes and what point we end up with. So we'll bring up that, and I will bring back the street in about 5 minutes. We'll take a 5-minute break, ladies and gentlemen, and we will be back very shortly.